Okay, the task at hand is to go ahead and get this guy shadowed, and then we're going to have to deal with his background as well. So for shadows, the moonlight is coming from behind him, so I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put a big dot there, and let's see what this is. Okay, that's good. I have to say that when I'm doing stuff like this, this is where having having the ability to add filters in real time would be kind of nice, like to blur the edges, for example. Now we can do it in post. Let's see here. Let's go to the effects schematic, and on column 3, which is actually the shadow. So as I like to use abbreviations, I'll call that shadow, and I'll call this N1 for Ninja 1. And let's go ahead and add a filter here, which is going to be just a plain old blur. And I'm going to say maybe 2 millimeters. Let's look at, yeah, that doesn't really soften it quite enough, does it? Okay, I guess that's alright. And then we'll go back to our brush here, and what I want to do is just get a little bit of, wait. Okay, sorry, I got a mistake. Turn this off, turn that off. I gotta hit undo a few times. Okay. Okay, and I was using this brush. We'll turn that back on. What I was trying to do right there was just get this rounded up a little bit, and I frankly need to use the eraser to cut back into it. There we go. That's not too bad. Okay. I did kind of make a mistake now that I look at it. I should have used a Toons raster level instead of a standard raster level. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab this brush, and I'm going to create a Toons raster level, and I'm going to cut and paste that brush into here, but I'm going to see if I can go ahead and just select this. I don't actually know, believe it or not, if I can cut and paste from a raster level to a Toons raster level, and it says that I can't. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since this is just one image, let's try it this way. I'm going to hit save all. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do cleanup. Yep, clean it up. Okay, that worked. Okay, so it turned it into a Toons raster level, which means now I can go ahead and dial in the alpha. And when it's actually rendered, it'll be blurred a little bit. Frankly, that blur is not quite enough. Oh, it's back to 2 millimeters. It's because I hit undo a bunch of times. Yeah. That, I think, will do the trick. Okay. So as long as we're here, do we want to deal with the background? We could. What we need to do is, I don't want to belabor making you, as the viewer, wait around for a long time. So if I bump into any real roadblocks here, I may stop. So basically, he's supposed to be fairly near the window, so that kind of works. Now I'm going to hit the insert key, and what we need to do is put the big background that we used in a lot of places. So I'm looking at my other screen right now to find the background image that we used. I have mentioned in other videos that I haven't done the most famous job ever of keeping my work organized insofar as my image library. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to open a recent scene, which is pre-fight dialogue is what we're on right now. So I guess we want ninjas enter. What I need to do is go back and look at one of the other shots and see where the image was. and then if it's in a stupid location, make some corrections. So here we go. That's fine, and that's the image I'm looking for. And that's part of an image sequence, which is not as useful as I had kind of hoped. So now what we need to do is, the question really is, how do we find out what the properties are of this image? Let's go to info, and yeah, anime shots 100 image sequence sky. Okay, so I'm going to go to that location. This is kind of useful. So let's go to, and I'm going to kind of solve this once and for all. So I'm on the L drive, anime, and shots. There it is. Okay, yeah, see, this is a holdover actually from some earlier work where I was kind of organizing in a way a little bit different than what I'm doing now, but I have found the image sequence that contains the sky, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting and pasting that into anime, images, backgrounds, and I'm just going to paste that in. And now, I know you couldn't see that, but okay, so now we're going to go to the pre-fight dialog. I'm just going to discard the changes. There's no reason to keep any changes from that shot. So now what I'm going to do is go down into this sub-X sheet. My mouse has got a little bit too short of a leash here. Okay, I'm going to grab this, drag that into there. We want to load it. I never import them. Okay, now let's go back. Basically, that looks pretty good. I think what I'm going to have to do here is go from here to here and paste here. Well, that just happened to be the correct length. So that means I should be able to grab this shadow, do the same thing here, file, save all, and let's climb up out of the sub-X sheet. And if I'm not mistaken, this shot is done. Other than the fact that okay, two things. First of all, I can see that on Akari's shot, I really think the shadow should be denser. Okay, obviously that's too much. Okay, and not only that, but while I'm here, I think I'm going to take the paintbrush. Okay, if we remember from the earlier scene, I'm pretty sure that this layer that represents the shadow is in fact constrained by the mesh that was generated by the plastic tool, so that gives us our masking on it. So now I'm going to hit the P key, and okay, I can see the problem we're going to have. The problem is that because the plastic tool is invoked, the OPENTOONZ is not going to let us edit this directly. So there's basically two ways we could go. One would be to take a crazy chance and see if by some crazy luck I'm able to actually get this kind of sort of right. Let's find out. Okay. This is a really stupid way to do this. Okay. So you've been warned. You've been warned. This is like the dumbest possible way to do this. However, since I'm in a hurry, I can go ahead and at least I can try. All I need to do is fix that little glurp right there from here to here, which I can see where it is. So yeah, again, normally I would definitely not recommend doing it this way just because it's really stupid. What I should have done is go into the schematic and simply disconnect. Well, actually, I wonder if we disable that, I think all that does is hide it. I don't know. Let's find out. That's a really interesting question. Okay, so now that the plastic tool is effectively disabled, actually it's not disabled, it's just locked. I see, that's all that did was lock the layer. Okay, so if I want to be able to edit this image in the X sheet, which I kind of do, then what I need to do is take column 2 and column 4 and connect them directly to the table so they're no longer going through the X sheet. Okay, so then when I come back here, I can hit the P key, and as I said, this is really how I should have done this. Okay. And I like that. That's not too bad. Because obviously she's got this light coming from, I don't know if you can see this with the mouse, but the light's coming in this way. And with perspective, it's actually coming from, above, but basically all around because she's facing towards the window. So let me just see if there's any other places where I really would like to put some shadowing. I think I'm basically in pretty good shape. So having done that, we need to reconnect these guys to the plastic tool. Boom, boom. And the only reason I'm even using the plastic tool here, by the way, I see a flaw. Okay, there we go. The only reason I'm using the plastic tool is to create a mask. Because when I generated the plastic tool on this image right here, the plastic tool mesh looks like this. And so as you can see, while it's not perfect, it creates a nice area in which to be able to deform or morph, or whatever you want to call it, this image. Well, I'm not actually doing any morphing or deforming, but what I am doing is by taking this shadow layer and routing it, this is column 4 as you can see here, by routing this through the plastic tool instead of directly to the table, it makes the shadow layer also fall only inside the area of the plastic tool mesh. So it's just a shorthand way to be able to mask out a shadow. I don't know if anyone else does it this way. It's just kind of a way I figured out that seemed to be pretty cool. So there's that. Obviously we're going to have to animate her lip sync. One other thing I do want to do here is touch up this shadow area. Okay, and then one thing also that the dirty little secret we haven't mentioned is that the texture or pattern on the vase hasn't even been addressed, and I'm not going to address it today. Okay, that looks cool. I mean, the dirty little secret, to expand on that concept, is that if we didn't do anything with the vase, we could probably get away with it. But in the earlier sequence, in this shot, the earlier sequence in this show, we did have an actual rendered vase, rendered in Blender, that was generated in 3D. And in this case, we got a stupid pattern on top of it, which isn't really working, but anyway, that takes care of that. So I'm going to stop here because I'm trying to increasingly, instead of rolling on these videos for 30 to 60 minutes, okay, this is interesting. Let's take a look. Okay, actually, do I want to do this on YouTube? I don't know. I'm looking at a comment on one of my Zen Wildman says, sorry, I couldn't. This is regarding the. I posted a video a couple days ago that is this video right here. Blender 2.8 beta. Sorry, it's pre-alpha at best. So this is. So actually, I had some people, understandably, give a thumbs down to this video, and so what I did was I said, hey, if you've got. I said, I noticed a few people have given this the thumbs down, which I respectfully acknowledge, but I'm curious why you're going to give it a thumbs down. Please post comment. I always appreciate a different perspective. So here's the different perspective I've gotten. The first one I've seen. Sorry I couldn't watch a full hour of you whining. So forgive me if you sorted it after 22 minutes. Forgive me if you sorted it after 22 minutes. Frustration is usually a lack of knowledge. Rings true here as well. You were thinking of Maya's hotbox when referring to the Blender's pie menu. Did you bind with envelopes? Bind with envelopes. Look like auto weight to me. He's correct. I did. The armature has a display mode, which was even on your screen. Enable envelope view there. Definitely found a few bugs or ways that the workflow could be improved. Report them. That I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do that. I'll finish my comment by pointing out that beta is a stage in software development that will contain bugs. Learn what that means. Okay, so I would say the only part of Zen's comment that I would take exception to would be this very snarky comment to learn what that means. I've done a great deal of software development in C, C++, Pascal, JavaScript, Euphoria, Visual Basic, PHP. Okay, so I completely understand what the software lifecycle is. That's specifically why I'm critical of calling Blender beta software, because by any definition, it is not beta software, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my opinion. So I would say, Zen, I appreciate your comments. Oh boy, I'd like to say I'm going to try what you've suggested here. The problem is I found Blender 2.8 so frustrating that I kind of made the decision to just delete it and come back in like 3 months. But man, I've got a 20-year relationship with Blender. So who knows, I may go ahead and reload it back up and give it another crack. But did you bind with envelopes is the part of Zen's comment that I think is really useful. I did not. He is completely correct that I bound the grease pencil object with automatic weights. And I assumed that there was a direct relationship between automatic weighting and the envelopes that Blender would generate. Okay, clearly that's not the case. There's way more to it than that. So I would say to Zen, learn what that means. You know, I think, okay, my video was snarky. He's being snarky, so I guess that's you know, no harm, no foul. But the thing about binding with envelopes, I will definitely take a look at, because that would have been very helpful to know. So anyway, that's it for now. We did the shadowing on this guy, and we will come back. I'm either going to do backgrounds on this one. Coming up next episode, I'm either going to do backgrounds on this shot, or I'm going to go ahead and start inking. I think it would be this. Nope, it's not this. I guess it's this sequence right here. Okay, so the next thing to come, there is this camera move here, but this guy kind of gets up and turns around like that after he sets down the vase. So maybe I'll ink that next, but we shall see. It has been 18 minutes, and I will catch you next time.